Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've got another film review for you today. It's the 2019 reimagining, not quite live action because it's computer animated, so we'll say reimagining of Disney's The Lion King. The 1994 original, which was a smash hit when it came out. It's one of the highest grossing Disney films of all time. I think it's the highest grossing 2D animation film of all time, beloved by everybody. If you saw my Disney top 5 list, you saw it was my number 1 Disney film growing up. So how does the reimagining do? It's complicated. It's probably the best way I could put it. There are a lot of good things to this film, and there's a lot of stuff that I didn't kind of enjoy and like. I'll start off with the positives. And as you've probably seen online, seen from the trailers, the visuals in this thing are absolutely stunning. The animation team that created this film did a fantastic job, and it looks incredible. It looks stunning. It's really sometimes difficult to tell what is animation and what is live action. They must have shot some stuff on location and kind of digitally added the lions and other creatures after that. But even then, there's other little things. There's a shot of a dung beetle. There's a thing with a little mouse that runs around. All of it looks stunning, absolutely stunning. So the animation team did a great job in this. It looks amazing. As well as Timon and Pumbaa actually get a really good role in this one as well. They get a little bit more freedom to play around it. Seth Rogen plays Pumbaa, and Billy Eichner, I think his name is, plays Timon. And they're really funny because they can kind of play off each other. They do a little bit more improv. They have obviously some lines from the original, but they get to improv a lot more. And they're really funny. They really steal the show. There's some really good moments with those two in it. That, for the stuff that I really like, that is probably about it. The problem with this film, and it's what I've had with a lot of the Disney remakes that have been done, is it seems too tied to the original. And the dialogue in a early 90s animated movie doesn't quite work in a 2019 live action film. I'll give you an example. Was it James Earl Jones reprises his role as Mufasa from the original, and in the original he's got this really big booming voice, and it's a very sort of animated big line. You kind of see that authority. The problem in this film is that where they've made the lions look so realistic, lions don't have any expression on their faces whatsoever. They're lions, they're animals. They don't move, their eyebrows don't really move, they don't smile, they don't frown, they just are lions. So to kind of purvey that without having James Earl Jones recreate what he did with Mufasa, with inflections in his voice, and he changes his tone, he gives a very flat performance. And here's one you notice more than anything else because it's the same voice as the original. It's just a very flat, very monotone. He doesn't really kind of change his vocal pattern because the lion wouldn't do that either. And it's the same for every character. Beyonce playing Nala does the same thing. Donald Glover when he's Simba. Even the kid versions of those, they're not animated like you would see in an animated film because the lions aren't animated themselves. They're too stoic. They're just kind of deadpan. Timon and Pumbaa kind of get away with it a little bit. I think that's more because they're not tied to the original dialogue from the first film. They're allowed to kind of riff a little more. Same with Zazu as well. As much as the look of Zazu freaks me out because it's a realistic looking bird, and where in the original they could have the bird look straight forward, in this one because it's a robot he has to turn his head to look at things, it looks weird. But it's John Oliver does the voice for that, who's an American he's a British comedian, works in America, and again he gets a lot more new dialogue, so he can kind of riff and kind of do his own spin on it, and his dialogue really works because it fits what the bird is doing because he can make up his own stuff, whereas everybody else is so tied to that original dialogue. Scar as well, it just doesn't quite work as much, and the lions just seem almost like they're bored, like because they have no expression. They kind of just will move around and snarl, and they go for a slightly different Scar in this one, whereas in the original, which Jeremy Irons, he's very kind of like sort of campy and sly and a bit slimy and everything. In this one he's just sort of dark and grim and everything. And when the film tries to do its own thing, like they bring Sarabi, the wife of Mufasa, into the film a lot more. They kind of give her a bigger role, especially once I'm going to spoil it, but you've seen the Lion King, so I'm not going to. Once Mufasa dies, and Simba's gone, and Scar's taken over Pride Rock, she takes more of a prominent role with the rest of the lionesses, and there is a sort of dialogue scene between her and Scar and a conversation, and that works really well because that dialogue is written for this version of Scar. He's not trying to do a recreation of Jeremy Irons' version. He's doing his own thing, and it works for the movement of that line and everything like that. But outside of that, it just they're so tied to the original dialogue, it doesn't really work. Be Prepared doesn't get a great. The other songs work really well. Kuna Matata, Can You Feel the Love Tonight, Just Can't Wait to Begin. They all work well in the setting that they put them in, but Be Prepared kind of really gets a bad rap in this one. It doesn't really. It's not the big song number like it is in the original. It's kind of just. He kind of falls into it. He's talking to the hyenas, and it kind of just falls into the Be Prepared melody and stuff. The music's not going. It's just a little bit more subtle. And again, it's a bit disappointing because I quite like that song. As a villain song, that's pretty good. So outside of the visuals and Timon and Pumbaa and some of the John Oliver stuff when he was Zazu, the film was just a bit nah, and it doesn't really do what the original does. It's not animated. It's not. Even Rafiki doesn't get a lot to do in this film. There's a great moment in the original where he teaches Simba basically the lesson of you need to learn from your past rather than run away from it, learn from it. And that moment's not really in this. They kind of do something a bit different, and I much prefer what they did in the original. And I think that's the problem with it, because it's so close to the original. Like, it's only 1994. Most of us people of my age grew up with that film, and then now seeing this version of it just doesn't quite do it. When they remake stuff, the problem I've had with most of these remakes, I'm going to get into a bit of a rant now, but when they remade like Dumbo, admittedly I've not seen it, but I can understand why they did Dumbo, because Dumbo's years old and it's not really a beloved classic. Like, you can redo that. The Jungle Book I understood, because again, the Jungle Book's old film, and there's a lot you can do with that, especially with modern technology. And again, it's not a huge beloved classic. But when you're remaking Aladdin, when you're remaking The Lion King, they're so popular and so huge, and they're so still relatively new compared to like the Jungle Books from the mid 60s. These are from the early 90s. It feels like a bit of a cash grab. It feels like we'll cash in people's nostalgia, we'll remake this film of they grew up with and reimagine it, but not do nothing really new with it. Like, it doesn't need to be retold. What we've already got is perfect. Leave it alone. Let's just make something new, Disney. So it's a bummer, because I didn't enjoy this film as much as I wanted to. There are some great elements. I can't praise the visual look of this film enough, really. It's just, even if you want to see it as some sort of very, very expensive tech demo to how they can make lions and Africa look so real on a computer, go ahead, because visually you will be blown away by this film. If you're looking for more substance, a good story, interesting characters, go watch the 1994 original. That's the most I can say about it. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.